Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. We want to presentation about voice and voiceless. My name is Rayhan Ardhito Putra Mulyo, and our member is Ridho Al Fadly and Salsabila Rizky Kolbiningsi. First of all, what are we discussing? First is what are voice and voiceless, and second is what are types of voice in English, and three, what is the difference between voice consonants and voiceless consonants, and what is phonetics? Phonetics is studying the sound of the human voice, divide consonants into two types, such as a voice and voiceless. Voice consonants require the use of the vocal cords to produce their signature sounds. Voiceless consonants do not. Both types use the breath, lips, teeth, and upper palate to further modify speech. This guide presents the difference between voice and voiceless consonants and give you some tips for using them. Voice is the letter that come out of the throat, and if we hold the throat and we will feel vibrations when we pronounce the letter. And voiceless is the letters that come out of the mouth, not the throat. And if we hold our throat, then there is no vibration when pronouncing the letters. Voice in the English sound system. There are many styles of speech for each individual, which is influenced by a variety of causes such as a locality, early influence, and social surrounding. The pronunciation of English involves the production of individual or isolated sounds and the utterance of words, parts, and sentences with correct spelling and stress or rhythm intonation. Formulation of problem to know the definition of voice and voiceless. What are the type of voice system in English? To find out the difference between voice consonants and voiceless consonants. The purpose is know and understand what voice and voiceless are. Know the types of voice system in the English. Knowing the difference between voice consonant and voiceless consonant. Next slide. I want to talk about voice and voiceless. Well, voice are later that come out of the throat, and if we hold the throat and we will feel vibrations when we pronounce the letter. For example, D, B, R, L, M, and V each other. Voiceless are the letter that come out of the mouth, not the throat, and if we hold our throat, then there is no vibration when pronouncing the letter. For example, S, X, C, C, H, S, H, P, K, F, Q, G, H. This okay. Next, Ridho Al Fadly.
Okay, Rayhan, I will continue your material and I will explain about the types of voice system in the English. The voice system in the English divided into 4 types, such as number 1, vowels. Vowels is a syllabic speech sound pronunciation without any structure in the vocal tract. Vowel is one of the 2 principal classes of speech sound. The other being consonant. Vowels vary in quality, in loudness, and also in quantity. There are usually voice and closely involved in prosodic variations such as tone, intonation, and stress. Therefore, the tongue does not touch the teeth, lips, or the roof of the mouth when pronouncing vowel. it is important to notice that the term vowel can refer to both vowel sounds and vowel letters in alphabet. There are 5 vowels in alphabet: A, I, U, E, and O. Sometimes the letter Y is also considered as a vowel. Example, cry and fly. There are about 20 vowel sounds in English language, and these five vowels letters represent all these sounds. This means that a single vowel letter can represent many vowel sounds. For example, consider the word cat, hurt, hate, all, and sad. All these words contain the vowel, but the sound of the vowel is different in each word. In the same manner, the same vowel sound can be also represented by different vowel letters as well. For example, not how the sound E represented by different words in the words weight, clay, bake, and opaque, opaque. Vowel divided into 3 ranges of vowel sounds, such as monophthongs. Monophthong is the simple vowel or pure vowels. There are example diphthongs, symbol in vowel sounds. And number 2, diphthongs. Diphthongs is a combination of 2 different vowel sounds or double sounds. And number 3 is triphthongs. Triphthongs is 3 vowel sounds that quickly glide together. There are 2 types of short vowel monophthongs. Most of the monophthongs in English are commonly as short vowels, which are usually produced when a vowel is followed by one more consonant in a syllable. There are some examples of each type of short vowels monophthongs. Number 2 is long vowel monophthongs. Most of the monophthongs in English are commonly as short vowels, which are usually produced when a vowel is followed by one or more consonant in a syllable. Number 2 is diphthongs. Diphthong is a vowel sound that involves movement of the tongue from one position to nearly all dialects of English include the 3 major diphthongs: I, O, C, called the major diphthongs because they involve the large movement of tongues. Diphthongs articulate by a specific configuration of the tongues, lips, and oral cavity, which is held constant throughout their pronunciation. The vowel sounds in the word boy, buy, and how involve a change in the shape of the mouth as the vowel is being produced. The vowel of boys begins with approximately the mid-back vowel O and finish with approximately the high front like vowel I, or the palatal glide G. Diphthongs group into 2, namely closed diphthongs and middle diphthongs. Next, Salsabila Rizky.
So, I will explain about consonant. Consonant is a basic speech sound that is articulation with complete or partial closure of the vocal tract. Since the vocal tract is not completely open, the sound stopped by teeth, tongue, lips, or contraction of the vocal cords at a certain point. The term consonant also refers to both letters and sound. All the letters in the alphabet, apart from the 5 vowel consonant. There are 21 consonant letters in the alphabet, and they represent about 24 consonant sounds. Consonant can be grouped into two major categories, namely voiced consonant and unvoiced consonant. Consonant sounds that are with the articulation more or less close. That is, they are produced with a close articulation, going from completely together to only approximating. Consonant sounds that are classification according to three dimensions, namely voicing, phase of articulation, and manner of articulation. Consonants produced in the air don't come out smoothly through the mouth and throat, but blocked or constricted so that a hard friction sound. Consonant can be two group types, namely types place of articulation and types manner of articulation. Example phonetic symbol in the consonant. Phonetic symbol used in the dictionary consonant. Pen, bet, did, cat, got, chain, jump, fal, fan, in, this, so, zoo, shoe, vision, head, man, no, sing, leg, red, yes, wet. Types, place of articulation. There are example types, place of articulation. 1. Labial is a sound with an articulation point on the lips. Labial is divided into bilabial, which is the sound that is articulation by two lips. P, B, M, and labiodental, which the sound between the lower lip and the up teeth. V, F. 2. Dental is the sound that the tip of the tongue articulates with the front teeth. 3. Alveolar is the sound that is articulation by the tip of the tongue with the gums. T and D. 4. Plato-alveolar is the sound that is articulated by the body of the tongue with the roof of the mouth. T and D. 5. Palatal is sounds that are articulation by the front of the tongue with the front of the palate. For example, G. 6. Velar is the sound that is articulated by the back of the tongue with the back of the palate. For example, K, G, N. 7. Glottal is the sound produced in the glottis. Types, manner of articulation. Manner of articulation is the configuration and interaction of the articulators, speech organs, such as the tongue, lips, and palate, when making a speech sound. One parameter of manner is structure, that is, how closely the speech organs pose on another. Others include those involved in the like sounds, taps and trills, and the sibilance of fricative. There are example types, manner of articulation, such as 1. Plosive is a sound produced by closing the air cavity completely. For example, P and B. 2. Affricate is a sound that resembles a plosive, but the separation of the articulator organs is not carried out too quickly. For example, T and B. 3. Nasal is the mouth completely closed. The back of the palate is kept low so that air freely passes through the cavity. For example, M and N. 4. Lateral is the sound barrier located in the middle of the mouth and air can freely exit. For example, L. 5. Rolled is a sound produced by the rapid movement of a number of elastic organs. For example, R. 6. Flap is a sound that resembles a roll consonant but only consists of one fast movement. For example, R. 7. Fricative is a sound formed by constricting the air cavity so that the release of air causes a hissing sound. For example, F, V, S, Z, and H. 8. Semi-vowel is the sound produced by the rapid movement of sound through the speech organs from a closed vowel to a number of other vowels. 4. Cluster. Cluster is a number of words that are read in one breath, for example, film, spending, struggle, knacker, and pronunciation. To produce such English sounds, the speech organs must move precisely. In the production of this sound, air comes from the lungs through the air cavity or trachea, and then pass through the expanse, throat, and oral cavity, which are governed by the organs of speech. Furthermore, the vocal cords are located in the throat, resembling two lips. The tap can be spared and can also be closed so that it can completely cover the air cavity. When the vocal cords come close to each other and air is squeezed in the channel, the vocal cords vibrate, produce a sound known as voice. When the vocal cords move away from each other and air passes through them, the sound produced is known as breath, and the sound produced in the middle of the glottis as whisper. Difference between voice consonant and voiceless consonant.
Okay, Salsabila.
Voice consonant is a simple.
I will continue from that point. For the next material, the difference between voice consonant and voiceless consonant. Voice consonant is a simple explanation that use voice. That is easy to test by put your finger on your throat. If you feel a vibration, the consonant. If you feel a vibration, the consonant is voice. There is a list of some voice consonant. Pronunciation each consonant should sound not the letter and feel the vibration of your vocal cords. For example, B, D, T, S in then, and V, L, R, Z, and J. As in Jane. Voiceless consonant don't use the voice. They are persuasive and use hard sounds. Once again, you can test if a consonant is voiceless by put your finger on your throat. You will feel no vibration on your throat. Just a short explosion of air as you pronounce each of these consonant sounds and feel no vibration in your throat. For example, P, T, K, S, sh, as in thing. When voiceless consonant put in groups, they can change the voice or voiceless. Quality of the consonant that follows. Great example of this is past simple form of regular regular verbs. You know, as regular verb add to the end of the verb in the simple past tense. Number one, voice consonant. Voice consonant is a simple explanation that use voice. Voice consonant make use of the vibration of the vocal cords in the larynx, whereas unvoiced consonant don't. It is easy to identify voice and unvoiced consonant by putting a finger on your throat and feeling the vibration. Vocal cords actually mucous membranes stretch across the larynx at the back of the throat. By tightening and relaxing as you speak, the vocal cords modulate the flow of breath expelled from the lungs. Easy way to determine whether a consonant is voiced or not is place a finger on your throat. As you pronounce letter, feel the vibration of your vocal cords. If you feel a vibration of the consonant is a voice one. These are the voice consonant: B, D, G, J, L, M, N, R, S, and the S in the word then. B, W, Y, and Z. But its consonant, there are only single letters. What are N, G, S, Z, and T, H? They are common sounds that are produced by blending the two consonants phonetically. There are some examples of words that include voice consonants, such as traveled, gloves, shells, started, change, wheels, live. For the next one, for the next material will be explained by Egan. For Egan, the time is yours.
A second, voiceless consonant. Voiceless consonants don't use the vocal cords to produce their hard, percussive sounds. Instead, they are slack, allowing air to flow freely from the lungs to the mouth, where the tongue, teeth, and lips engage to modulate the sound. In linguistics, the voiceless consonant describe the pronunciation of sound when the larynx does not vibrate. Phonologically, this is a type of phonicization which contrasts with other states of the larynx. But some object that the word phonation implies voicing, and that voicelessness is the lack of phonicization. See phonation for more. The International Phonetic Alphabet has distinct letters for many voiceless and modally voiced pairs of consonants. The obstrong, such as a P, PB, TD, KG, QG, FV, as Z, and also for voiceless the underring that can be used with letter for typically voiced sounds, such as a vowels and nasal consonants, A and. The ring is placed above the letter with descends there as with N. Voiceless vowels and other sonorants. Sonorants are those sounds such as vowel and nasal consonants, which are voiced in most of the world language. However, in some languages, sonorant may be voiceless, usually allophonic. For example, the Japanese word sukiyaki is pronounced sukijaki. This may sound like skiyaki to an English speaker, but the lips can be seen compressing for the U. Something similar happens in English with words like pickler and potato. These are the voiceless consonants: C, H, F, K, P, S, S, H, T, and TH, as in thing. Common words using voiceless consonants such as was, cause, watch, books, sits, drop, cards, and vowels. A third, changing voice. Changing voice consonants put in groups. they can change the vocal quality of the consonants that follows. A great example is the past simple form of regular verbs. We can recognize these verbs because they end in at. However, the consonant sounds of this ending can change from voice to voiceless, depending on the consonants or vowels that precedes. In almost all cases, the E is silenced. Rule the changing voice such as if the at is preceded by a voiceless consonant such as K. It should be pronounced as a voiceless T. Example: park, bark, marked. If the it is presented by a voice consonant sound such as B or V, it should be pronounced as a voice D. Examples: rope, thrift, soap. If the it is presented by a vowel sound, its sound be pronounced as a voice D because vowels are always voice. Example: frit, fried, light. Exception: if the it is presented by T, it should be pronounced a voice it. ID sound. In this case, the E is pronounced. Example: dotted, roaded, plotted. This pattern can also be found with plural forms. If the consonant presenting the S is voiced, the S will be pronounced phonetically as Z. Example: chairs, machines, bags, books. If the consonant presenting the S is voiceless, then the S also will be pronounced as a voiceless consonant. Example: beds and parks. Next.
Okay, thank you, Rayhan. For the last part, I will tell you about the conclusion of this material. Learning English. In learning English, you must really understand that the sound system of the language is different from Indonesian. There are several sounds in English that are not found in Indonesian, either in the form of voice consonant, voiceless consonant, vowels, diphthong, and various other sound forms. In addition, in Indonesian, stress, length, and intonation do not affect the meaning of a word or phrase. Due to this difference, English learners often experience difficulties because by various things, different hearing sensitivity, problem how to produce foreign sounds with our speech organs, sound distribution problems, and fluency problems. These problems can be overcome by trying to deepen phonological theories, diligently opening a dictionary to find out how to pronounce a word and practice pronouncing, and training hearing by listening to native speaker either directly or via cassette. Learning English, being able to pronounce word, phrase, and sentence correctly as spoken by English speaker in the main goal. This is important because in English, mispronunciation will cause the meaning of the word to be wrong as well. As a result, the message we want to convey will not receive clear. Based on this description, it is very important to introduce English pronunciation correctly from the beginning to English learners. Thus, it can be expected that students will be able to master the correct pronunciation methods in English so that they can finally speak English fluently and accurately. Thank you.
That's all. Thanks for my group Ridho Al Fadly and Salsabila for the presentation. Thank you for the listen our presentation. Sorry if we had a mistake. That's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.